I am born and brought up in a family where I started, or rather I interacted with, let's say, my drug of choice, which was alcohol, when I was still way a small boy. So in our backyard, the family, my grandmother's place, I could see, my fathers, my uncles, my dads, and so on, preparing the Rocco brew. And I think way back when I was in like class 5, class 6 or so, I could basically just correct all those things that they required to mix the Rocco brew, the Moratina, and I was able to do it, even on their behalf. So I think that is where it all began. I now grew up knowing and seeing people, even though they are a bit responsible, not like myself later on. But I grew up thinking and having a feeling that it's normal thing. It's good to feel high, because I could see the family folks and friends within the family, taking a drink, and they looked excited, they looked happy. I can't remember possibly, but maybe unconsciously I was like, when I grow up, I would want to be like this, like this gentleman. So I would say maybe that was my childhood. And now growing into high school, and even after now high school and in college, now this is where especially when I went to college, particularly at Dedan Kimathi, is now when you meet friends from other places, and now you start going out as students, in college, and once in a while you could have a drink or two. And it felt good at that time, because it was just one, and then maybe after a while another one, and so on. But now after college, now into the job market, and now I've started working, and I'm making a few coins. And may I also mention that where I was in college, I did a diploma in information technology. So when I came out, it is now when IT is picking up. People are buying computers, people are buying laptops, all those things. And now I'm this young guy, expert, who is able to connect all those things. So I would say I was getting a lot of businesses. Every other time, I have a client who needs maybe a laptop. I have a client who needs setup for softwares. I have a client who needs this other thing. So money was coming in easily. And so it began gradually by, having a drink over the weekend. And if possibly, maybe I remember very well, it began by, there are times I could not take a drink in the course of the week, and I was only taking drinks on Friday and Saturday. And I would consider the other days are working days, very strict, very focused. But then I would only maybe sit down on Friday or on Saturday, and then excluding Sunday, considering Monday is a working day. But then it went on and on and on. And gradually I now drifted from, having a drink over weekend to having a drink after work. It doesn't matter whether it is on a Monday or a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And I think gradually it continued. Now spending more hours outside, coming home in the morning at 3 a.m., some other times at 6 a.m. At that time, I just thought it was just a normal thing, because I'm this young guy, make some money. When if I drink what I have today, tomorrow I'll still make something. So gradually it went on, and it went on. And possibly at some point, maybe around 2017 or so, around that time. Now I think, looking back, I realized that by that time now I was drinking a little bit heavy, because it didn't matter whether it is in the afternoon after lunch. It didn't matter whether it is on a Monday, whether it is on a Sunday afternoon, whether it is on a Sunday morning after you wake up and you feel like you want to take a drink. I felt it was all normal, but I think there was that continuous urge to keep on taking a drink, and without really worrying so much about what time it is. And then I think moving on into around now 2020, 2021, I think this is where now it is started escalating into very serious levels. There are times I would wake up in the morning. I had a drink yesterday, wake up at 4 a.m. And then I feel it's time to get out of the house, because why do I need to sleep? And I have a few hundreds, I have a few coins in my pocket that can buy me a drink. And then it is still at this time where now it came down now from drinking now what we would have called now the high-end drinks now. Sasa umefika mahali hizi za kawaida uko sawa. Because all you need to do is get high. And it started around now 2020, 2021 now. Around that time now it was affecting even my work, because I'm drinking every. It doesn't matter whether it is on a Monday, whether it is on a Tuesday. Some other time I would go to work, then slip out of the office briefly, go out and have a drink. Then it's at 10 a.m. Then you realize already you have taken a drink, you can't go back to the office. Then you decide to continue drinking. And of course, as a salesperson and as a team leader, it started now affecting my work life. Gradually, I'm not reporting to work because yesterday night I drank a little bit too much. Went home in the morning at 3 or 4 a.m. I am supposed to be in the office the following day at 8 or so. So I don't report to work because already the hangovers are too much. And then when I wake up the following morning, I'm like, it's already late. Why should I even go to the office? And I'm already late. So I think now from that point, things now, I think from where I am, it is now when things started now getting out of hand. Drinking continuously the whole day, some other time even not eating properly, because now most of the time you want to drink, and at this particular time you just don't want to drink. You're not even drinking quality. You are drinking anything that comes your way, so that you want to keep that company and you want to keep that continuous drinking. So that has been, when I look at it from where I am, that has been my journey until about 2021, where now things started getting out of hand. For the first time, I lost a very good job as a team leader with one of the insurance companies. And then now it dawned on me, it hit on me that I think now I'm drifting off the road, and things are not okay. And I thank God, because at that particular time when now things now were getting out of hand, I had a friend and a family friend and a father figure who is a man of God, and I reached out to him one time and I told him, sir, I think God is not well. I think I need some help. Even though it's a conversation we were having with him continuously, because one of the things when I was into so much of drinking, and in that period, you see, to sustain that kind of life, you need to have money. And even though I was working and I was earning, one of the other things that was quite outstanding at that particular time is that you end up, borrowing heavily from friends and from family, and of course giving fake stories and looking for ways and lies to be able to get 500 from this one, another 1,000 from this other one, because you need to put a drink on the table, and this drink is not coming in free. There was a lot of disruptions and there was a lot of problems because with my drinking and with my family, because I had a family which I was not able to hold together anymore because of my drinking. At some point, there are points I could disappear even for 3 or 4 days. You are just hovering between this club and this other club, drinking. You sleep there the whole night, then you wake up the following morning, and that strained the relationships that we had. It affected, severely affected the relationship until now, a point whereby my family broke up. And when my family broke up, I had now to move from where I was living, the town where I was living with my family, and I came back home now to my local home where I've been born and brought up in Othaya. When I came back home, I still had, the drinking problem. Then left home, got a job, went now back to insurance because I had taken time to break from insurance, went back to insurance, got a job as a team leader with one of the insurance companies, hosted in Nanyuki town. That's where I was working from. And because I had not dealt with my drinking problem, so I still had the drinking problem. I think the only difference was, there are times when completely you don't have anything to buy that drink. So you basically are sober because you are broke. But then when Manuel comes back, because the problem still remains, the problem has not been solved and has not been resolved, then you go back. So my family broke up. The relationship got strained, we broke up, we separated, and the main cause of our separation was my drinking problem. Thank you for that. One of the life-threatening circumstances or situations or dangers I found myself into one time. Now there is time when I was when I'm living in the UK and I'm working there, and like I said, I'm working, I'm earning, making some good money. But now my drinking was quite a little bit off hand. And I remember this time, after having been in drinking for I think almost a week continuously, I wouldn't have thought that it was really a problem. But then this time, I'm in a pub and in a club in the UK, and literally, I'm not able to do anything. One, I'm having a very heavy breath. Number two, I'm shaking. Literally, that I remember even today, as we speak, I remember some gentlemen who we were sitting with in the club kept on asking me, Tony, what is going on? Because you don't look okay. And literally, I was not looking okay. I have a drink, but I take this drink, I'm looking okay, but I'm shaking. The people who we have been drinking with continuously are wondering what is going on. But literally, when I remember now from where I am, I think I just survived by the grace of God that particular time. I think I was to the extreme, very extreme end that particular time, and I would even have lost my life. Today, when we sit here, I think this is one of the incidences which I remember, and I am very grateful to God that today I'm alive. Because even with the shaking and with a very heavy breath and feeling something is not okay, I remember that at some point during the day, I stepped out and I was vomiting blood. Not really blood, but some really drink that has particles of, has patches of blood. And I remember at some point later in the night, because I survived during the day. This I'm talking about, this is a whole day since morning. I don't want to leave my drink and go, seek, some health, some medical assistance. And I remember at some point later in the night, at around 7, 8, some of the people who we were drinking with, and I still remember their names, they told me, no, Tony, this is now not okay. You need to go to hospital. And true, I was rushed to Huruma Hospital in Nanyuki at night, and I was administered some drugs. And that particular night, it was really bad, really bad, so bad So bad, even to an extent. I'm drunk, I've been to hospital, and I woke up at some point in the night and I told God, if you save me through this, I'm going to stop. I will stop drinking completely. That was quite a life-threatening moment for me. And I think from where I sit today, it is just by the grace of God. Deep down, I feel I have a problem. And I feel that my problem is getting out of hand. And I need someone to talk to, because now definitely the friends I had within and around the place that I was working, of course, they were my drinking, what we call drinking buddies. There are people who would not have said I'm talking to. And then I reached out to the man of God. We have a conversation on phone, and I tell him, sir, I think I need help. And then he proposes the help that I'm going to he's going to give. He tells me, now what we need to do, you need to, for now, because even working and all those things, and you're not making any much progress in life, it will be easier, it will be better for you to sit down and put your life together and possibly trust God for opportunities in the days to come. And just around that time when I am thinking about that, because I'm still in drinking, I lost my job. And the man of God reaches out to me, tells me that you need to come now to Nairobi, move from Nanyuki to Nairobi, so that you come and spend some period with him. He was running a program for people struggling with addiction within Nairobi. And when we spoke with him and we agreed that he will come, we agreed first I will move to Nairobi, come to Nairobi, and then from there it was it was quite an interesting I would say, I don't know whether I'll call it hide and seek, because now we have spoken, we have agreed I will come. But again, when I imagine I'm supposed to go and sit like for 3 months to deal with the problem in a secluded place where I am not even being visited by anyone, I thought, yapan. So I was not picking his calls, I was not anything. I think for the next like almost a month, I avoided him, I avoided his calls. Some other time I could literally just switch off my phone so that we don't have that conversation. But then moving forward, at some point, the man of God came down to Nanyuki. And even when he agreed that he's coming down to Nanyuki, I was still not prepared to meet him the day he traveled to Nanyuki. So, but eventually we met after he traveled to Nanyuki, and then picked me up. We traveled and we came to Nairobi. And when we came to Nairobi, that is where now I began my recovery journey. So we come to Nairobi, Utawara, and then I began my recovery journey through the program that we're having at Utawara. And for a continuous 3 months, I sat at the rehab for the 3 continuous months, learning and interacting with other addicts that I found in the prison, those that came after I had come. And I would say this was a life-changing experience. It is now where I was at the rehab that I started realizing, looking back, I started realizing that yes, indeed, I was losing it. I was going the wrong direction at a personal level, character-wise, as an individual, my reputation, career-wise, family-wise. I think, financially, I think I was losing it all gradually, and I had lost I would say before I began my recovery journey, I had almost given up, because it was one loss after the other. You have lost family. Of course, in the process of addiction and drinking and so on, you lose trust and relationship even within the family. It's very strained, with the parents, with the other siblings, with relatives, because they know the behavior that you are into. Then of course financially, career-wise, even with people who you are in the industry with, you are also losing. You're also losing out on the trust that they had in you. The same case with even with my clients and so on. So I think it was a gradual loss, one after the other, and now I sit in the rehabilitation center at Utawala, and we are having those conversations. Group conversations, one-on-one conversations. You have an opportunity of opening up your life to someone who is ready and willing to listen to you. We had people who were coming in like you were coming in to share your experiences and the journey that you have been through, giving us hope that it is possible to recover. It is possible to move from where you are and possibly live a different life. And I would say, whereas I was coming to and I was beginning my recovery journey, life was looking so hopeless. You wake up in the morning and the only thing that you think about, the only life you see is, learning to go into a club to take a drink. The only life that you see is, waiting for someone who can buy for you a drink, or doing something odd to get a drink, or even, borrowing, or even, using a ride to, make a way to be able to get something that will take you into, and of course, getting into debts, whether it is, loans, from mobile apps, from the bank, where you can afford mobile loans, where you can take loans from friends. So and then of course eventually you become caged in. You have nothing to do, you have nowhere to run. You have borrowed from everyone else you would have borrowed from. You have borrowed from your bank, you have not paid. You have borrowed from all the available online apps. You cannot borrow anymore. You are kind of caged and hopeless. You are not even working because you are not sober at all. So I would say that particular time, life for me seemed very hopeless. And this is a point whereby you throw in the towel and you are like, after all, I don't care what happens. And I think I was at that particular point in my life, that particular point where I don't care what happens. I don't see any hope. I don't see me getting out of my drinking, because you are almost drunk 24/7. You are drunk, you went home, ukabeba kanusu, you wake up in the morning at 6 a.m, umekula ile kanusu, umekunywa ile kanusu, and then of course now you want to add more and more and more. Unataka kwenda kutoa rock, because continuously you are not sober, and you are drunk almost 24/7. And I think at this particular time, before I began my recovery journey, I had lost hope completely. I didn't see any life, so much of my life ahead. Started now getting to understand that indeed I have a problem, and this problem needs to be addressed, and I need to be very candid, and I need to be very honest with myself. I need to open up, I need to share, I need to speak out the things that of course we are piling on and keep on piling on, and of course driving me now into that kind of heavy drinking and irresponsible drinking. And I would say my journey in the rehab for the 3 months was life-changing. I got to understand deep-rooted issues that I was struggling with, that I didn't know I was struggling with. I think I was in denial of quite a number of things. Like I was in denial that it is because of the mistakes I had done that even the family had broken up. We had strained relationship. It is because of, all those things. I think I was kind of living in denial. Ile unakuanga mlevi nasema after all kama nataka kwenda siwaende kwani mimi ndio wa kwanza. But I think deep down those are some of issues among many other issues that I was struggling with and had remained unresolved, and unconsciously were triggers to were triggers to my heavy drinking. And now I have an opportunity now to sit back and reflect, sit back and at some point light down every circumstance which I think could have been the reason, or rather which I felt, not actually could have been the reason, but everything that I felt that I was struggling with. And reflect, look at and listen to myself, and subconsciously try to identify and pick out which are some of those things that I have been struggling with. And I would say it was quite a very quite a journey, quite a process. It wasn't easy, but then it was worth. It was worth going through the rehab and being able to, get counseling and being able to reflect, address certain issues, get time to identify and address certain issues that I had not addressed for a very long time. Face yourself and face myself, and realize that as much as there were issues that I was going through in this particular point or this particular point, as much as I had gone through this, face myself and realize that it is my responsibility. It was my responsibility to take charge of my recovery journey. And I went through the rehab, and after 3 months, I would say I graduated. I left rehab after 3 months. And the recovery journey has been a process. And you see now the biggest challenge is that many of the times when we are struggling with addiction, we have this conviction that it is only ourselves who are struggling. Because number one, we actually don't even ourselves accept that we are in addiction. We even don't even accept that we are struggling. We have this feeling that all is well. Uko tu sawa, mimi niko tu sawa, mimi maisha yangu iko tu sawa. That is what we keep on convincing ourselves. But now when you get an opportunity to sit down in the rehab, when you realize that, okay, indeed, yes, I'm struggling, but I'm not the only person. The other people who are struggling, and not only the other people who are struggling, then what also gives you now encouragement is that the other people who are struggling, but they are willing to, they are willing to amend things. They are willing to amend their lives. They are willing to get into recovery. They are willing to change. Of course, there is a struggle, but they are willing. So through the rehab, you now get first to understand that it is not only yourself who is struggling, the other people who are also struggling equally as you are. And then you get now into, you go through the rehab period, maybe 3 months, some other times 4 months, depending with what brought you to rehab and your level of recovery. But now after rehab, this sometimes is also another journey. And I'll look at it in two ways. One, when you get out of rehab and sometimes go back to the family, there are times you will experience circumstances whereby the family is struggling to accept you back. Like, let's say you were drinking on a daily basis and you have been away for like 3 or 4 months. So it could mean, depending with where you have come from, it would mean that possibly your family has managed or rather has lived without you for a period of time. Maybe they have lived without your dramas and so on. So when you come back, sometimes, not always the time, but sometimes there are struggles accepting you back in the society. But I think now the challenge is not mostly with the family members, but now with yourself as a recovering addict. Sometimes the guilt, you see, you have been away for some period. You have been able to reflect. You have been able to see the things that you did right and what you did wrong. And now here you are confronted with circumstances whereby you have to take certain actions, even also to amend the relationships that you had with people who you had probably wronged before you went to rehab. And some of these people will not be very friendly. When you go to them and tell them, Pasi, nimekuja and I have come to apologize. Najua nilifanya ABCD and you are not happy about it. Not everybody will graciously receive you and accept you back. Not everybody will be willing to accept you back and forgive you. Not everybody is going to embrace you. So there is that part of integration which sometimes, not always the time, but sometimes inakuanga challenges, but not with everyone. I think one of the things that personally I have experienced is the love and the comfort within the family, and the desire of the family and even the family members to see you into recovery and to see you do something with your life that is more meaningful than what you were doing before you went to rehab. There is no level of addiction. There is no level of substance or drug or alcoholic abuse that you cannot recover from. One, the grace of God is very sufficient. God has continuously and is continuously extending his hand to anyone who is willing to begin the journey of recovery together with him. It is by the grace of God. You can desire, you can make efforts to do all those things, but you need to understand that recovery is a journey that you get into and you get through by the help and the hand of God. So you need to accept the fact that you need help, and the greatest help that you need, even before you go to rehab and before you talk to anybody else, the greatest help that is available from you, the greatest help that is available for you is from God. And Christ is always willing. Christ is always, and that's why the Bible says in the book of John 3 and verse number 16 that for the love of mankind, that God gave his son. God gave Jesus Christ for us, for my sake, for my weaknesses and for my challenges. And so in that struggle of addiction, whatever substance or drug or alcoholism or whatever it is that you are struggling with, because we are people struggling with different things, I want to encourage you that God is willing and God is able to help you. But you need to present yourself. You need to establish a relationship. You need to give God room. You need to create room in your life for God to do what he only can do. You need to give him room. You need to open up your heart unto him and unto Christ, so that he can help you and he can walk together with you through the recovery journey. But I want to encourage somebody this today, that it is possible. It is possible to recover. It is possible to recover from addictions. It is possible to move. It is possible to get delivered and get into recovery from whatever addiction that you are into. It is possible. You need to, all sometimes you need to do is to reach out to friends, to family, and to different people. Speak to them, tell them that if you feel that you are struggling, if they are reaching out to you with help, extend a hand of accepting the help that is being extended to you, and definitely you begin your recovery journey. It is not going to be easy. I'm not going to promise that it's going to be easy, but it is worth the effort that you're going to put. So thank you so much for listening into my story and working together with us through as we were sharing our story. So I want to encourage someone, you like and subscribe to Touch of Compassion TV, so that, and share with yourself and also with friends, so that we can reach out to more people who are struggling with different sorts of addiction, so that they can also get help. And I also want to let you know that in my recovery journey, I am an insurance agent. I do insurance, all different insurance classes, from motor insurance to health insurance, non-motor life insurance, and so on. So if you have any question or you have anything that you may want me to come through to educate you, to help you, and to insure you in all the classes of insurance, my number will be down there. You can call, you can text, and WhatsApp anytime, and I will respond to the questions. Thank you so much.